the Grim Reaper of the Discworld. I will travel the round world to seek answers to all your questions about Discworld. Today, let us look at technology on Discworld. In particular, this thing, Hex. They say you are the biggest thinker in the world, but do you also believe? This is the workshop of Bernard Pearson, the cunning artificer of Discworld. Don't worry, it's not an official visit. May I come in?
Step this way, my lord.
Tell me about Hex. I just don't understand why humans would want to build a machine to think for them when they use so little of their own brains anyway.
Well, my lord, Hex, a fantastic machine, and in some ways, why spend your days adding up when you can get a machine to do it for you? Well, of course, Hex was created by the Wizards of the Unseen University, well, mostly Ponder Stibbons and his acolytes.
So, Mr. Stibbins, this thing's a great big artificial brain then.
You could think of it like that. Of course, Hex doesn't actually think. Not as such, it just appears to be thinking.
Amazing. You mean it gives the impression of thinking, but really it's just a show?
Yes.
Oh, just like everyone else then, eh?
The Wizards found that after Hex had been built, most of the really bright young students spent all their time, all night in fact, playing games on Hex or programming Hex or just sitting around Hex eating miscellaneous quantities of pizza.
The whole thing is started by a massive red lever, and if you pull that, you pull it at your peril.
Amazing.
Well, the main component element of Hex is that you have a huge anthill, and this is inside a massive glass dome. In fact, it's got a label on it which says anthill inside.
Hex was built by student wizards. Hex was a machine they designed to try and find an easier way of performing magical spells. But once they started to create it, the natural magic of causality meant that Hex started to grow itself. It started to produce bits of itself, and to think for itself.
And Hex is no more than just a huge tool, well, except, of course, it's got a personality of its own.
Oh, no.
Hex is becoming almost human in its attitudes. It thinks for itself, it has its own attitudes to things, and it has attitude.
Oh. Out of cheese, error, melon, redo from start.
So, Hex, a thinking machine with a life of sorts. I'll be seeing you, but not just yet.